Hey, Battalion Nation.
We have a live show on location.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We're going to have trouble getting 2 points.
Brought to you by Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. We are at the Clubhouse by Gateway Golf for the Troops Trio, episode 20. Tonight's guests, we have Hayden Barch and Sebastien Gervais. Now to our souped-up, groovy-looking hosts, we got Ranjan, Bob, and Matt.
Thank you, AJ. Troops Trio is also proudly sponsored by the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight for, yes, a special St. Paddy's Day edition of Troops Trio. Everything decked out in green, including us, which is very convenient given the home team colors of the North Bay Battalion. We want to thank the viewers, as always, for watching on the Battalion YouTube page. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this with everyone you know. Bob, Roger, great to see you guys. Looking good in green. And so are the Battalion, who picked up 3 points on the weekend. Unfortunately, they still remain 2 points behind the Petes as we enter the final weekend of the regular season. So let's start with your thoughts on the weekend. They beat the Bulldogs 3-2 in overtime, but then they lose 4-3 in overtime to the Petes.
Well, what I loved was the competitiveness of both games. I mean, Brantford came in here, took an early 2-0 lead on Thursday, and the Battalion rallied. They got the game to overtime, and of course won it. Kent Greer with the winner on a beautiful shot, and a very spirited affair, I guess, is the best way. I think there were 4 fights on Sunday afternoon against the Peterborough Petes, and both teams wanted that extra point. It was a playoff. I think messages were being sent for the upcoming playoff series. It wasn't official until after Sunday's game, but now it is official. They're going to play each other. It's going to be a great series, I think, and great back and forth in that game, and the Petes getting the extra point with the winning goal in overtime. But it was, I think, really a taste of what the Battalion coaches want the team to look like for these key playoff games that start. And I can't believe it. It's been quite a season, but in just maybe 9 days, there's OHL playoff action. So Battalion look like they're ready to go.
So we're wearing green. I love the green. You know, I didn't always love the green. Back in the end of the North Bay Centennials days, I couldn't stand Battalion green. And also, when I briefly became a Sudbury Wolves fan after the Centennials left, I couldn't stand the green. But I've done a complete 180 on it, and I love the green. In fact, they are the best-looking jerseys in the league, I would say. Okay, to the getting that off my chest. But these are Boston Celtics hats, and I have a problem with that. But
Who's your NBA team?
Raptors.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Raptors. Okay, so the weekend that passed, inspiring win over Brantford was amazing. And what I liked most about the Peterborough game was all the fights. That was
4 of them. Just checking the stats, there were 4 of them.
You look on Bay today, and the picture of the fights in there, and the young kids are up there, and they're smiling ear to ear watching that fight. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a good tilt. So I like the fights. What I liked about Ethan Procession's, okay, so what's happening is all this talk about Matthews and the Leafs not doing anything about Matthews. Ethan Procession, just like all the rest of us, that's top of mind right now. He responded to a big hit on a Battalion player along the wall. Can't quote. Exactly, that a boy pro. He responded. Unfortunately, he got 2, 5, and a 10, but that was the right message at the time. And you're not going to do that in the playoffs necessarily, but it sets a tone and it sets a message to your bench, sends a message to your fan base that this is a team that takes care of each other, unlike Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I think don't do what the Maple Leafs do is a good lesson for this Battalion team or any team going forward for making the playoffs. Maybe next year, Leafs fans. That includes me.
They don't have my favorite moment, though, was when I forget who the Peterborough player was who got mixed up with Parker Vaughan early in the game, and they let them go and wrestle for a bit, and then one of the linesmen tried to pull Parker Vaughan off the Peterborough player. That didn't work, and then that developed into the first fight of the game. It just showed what kind of afternoon it was going to be, and one of the fun games of the year for sure.
Absolutely, and you had a chance to catch up with head coach Ryan Oulahen to get his thoughts about his team's performance over the weekend. So, producer Gerald, can we hear what Uli had to say?
All right. Well, apparently the coffee machine's broken, so we have no coffee for you. Is that okay?
That's fine. Water will do.
Okay. Head coach Ryan Oulahen of the Battalion. Obviously a fun week. Only 2 games last week, but it seemed like there was more than 2 games going on there. Exciting win over Brantford, coming from behind, and then obviously the thriller on Sunday, the Pete's winning in overtime. So you got to be pleased. A lot of playoff intensity with how your team played over the week.
Yeah, ramping it up this time of year for sure. We knew we had a tough opponent coming in on Thursday, and it was almost a must-win to keep it tight there versus Peterborough. And I thought we came out controlled during the game, maybe a little bit too much in terms of, we were maybe just watching them a little bit in that first period and got down. But then that second period and pretty much the rest of the game in that Brantford game, I mean, that's what we want to kind of bottle up. So there's lots of really good things now to be able to show our guys that that's a recipe we want to keep replicating. Really strong performance from everyone through the lineup. And then, it was sort of, we know we're going to be playing Peterborough now in the first round, and that was almost the unofficial first game of the playoff series. Very intense, not a lot of room out there. Guys were willing to do extra things in terms of both sides of it, and the battle and the compete level, blocking shots, the secondary efforts. Probably a pretty exciting game for the fans to watch, and a little bit of a glimpse of what the playoff series is going to be like. It's going to be extremely tight.
Judging by Coach's answer there, they got what they needed out of those 2 games. They got what they needed. Obviously, they would have liked the 2 wins, but the fact they had their play, I thought, was really good defensively against Brantford, especially when they fell behind 2-0, and then they met the importance of the game on Sunday afternoon against Peterborough. They know they're going to play them, and they sent some messages. It's going to be a tough series, and I think the Petes did too. The Petes said, "Okay, we're in this too." So I think both teams on Sunday were happy with the way the game went, the way the game turned out, and the fans were into every play, every call. So yeah, it was. I think it was a very positive week, and obviously the coaches got what they wanted out of the week.
Yeah, they sure did. And Bob, you also had a chance to talk to Coach Uli about how the team is doing health-wise, which is always a big concern at this time of the year. So let's hear his comments on that, and then we can break down to the roster a bit further. So producer Gerald, let's hear clip number 2, please.
Let's talk about the healthier team. Enright and Harper both missed Sunday's game. How is it in getting those guys ready for the postseason?
Well, you can see guys are on the ice here for a little bit of skills this morning. Aaron's feeling really good. He should be no problem here getting back in this weekend. Brant's a little bit longer. He is progressing really well. He's on the ice. He's practicing in a non-contact jersey, but he might take a little bit of time. I don't know whether that's 1 week, 2 weeks. Not quite sure on that. It can change real quickly, but progressing really well. And then outside of that, we're pretty healthy group. So we got lots of capable guys, and the team, I think, is feeling pretty fresh and ready at this time of year.
I know it's an exciting time of year for the players, coaches as well, right?
It's the best time. I mean, I feel like the whole regular season is trying to set yourself up for, I call it the best time of the year. Whether I go back to my playing days, obviously coaching and different playoff series, the time of year, the weather's nicer, daylight's longer during the days. Hopefully we're playing long enough where I always tell the guys, when you can start arriving to the rink in flip-flops, that's an amazing feeling. You just don't want to stop playing. So I think that's what we kind of got brewing here. And and now saying that, we got one last big weekend here to finish strong and make sure our game is in good shape.
Okay, Coach, thanks for this, and have a great week.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
Great interview. As we do every podcast, we interview Coach Oulahen, and I thought it was really important that he talked about this week. You want to finish strong this week. 2 home games against teams lower in the standings, against Brampton and against Sudbury. Tough road game on Friday night in Brantford, but really they seem to be ready, right? They're excited. The fans should be excited. The coaches are excited. The players, I'm sure, are excited. So they're ready to go.
Nobody's showing up to the rink in flip-flops. We are so far away from that.
Well, from the weather for sure, right?
The only thing he said that was right was that it's brighter. It is brighter,
Yeah.
but nobody's showing up in flip-flops.
No, despite it being playoff time, right?
Well, my goal every year is to announce my birthday, or have AJ announce my birthday, which is May 2nd, with a Battalion home game. So that's my goal. That's my target every year. So I'm hoping, and to do that, they got to get by the first round. So I'm hoping AJ gets to do that again this year.
If they can get to a game on my birthday, which is May 29th, that'd be even more impressive.
Even better.
That'd be better. That'd be better. You deserve it. You deserve it.
I think so, right? Last topic before we move on. Battalion defenseman Bronson Ride signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. As an overage player, this is exactly what you're looking for when you decide to play that one more year of junior hockey, is it not?
It is. This is unbelievable how much of a secret this was, that the players knew about it, certain other people knew about it, but no one else. It was like a cone of silence about that. We all knew that he went to Vegas, and we all knew that they liked him enough to bring him back for the rookie camp in September, and then that's the last we heard about it.
Yeah.
But they knew. They knew it was going to happen, and maybe it had something to do with the number of contracts Vegas had available. They had to clear the decks a little bit, but just a great accomplishment for just a salt of the earth guy. He's a man of few words in the interviews. I've tried to get him to expand, but he demonstrates on the ice, and it's a different look for him now, wearing the full fishbowl, to protect that abrasion that he had on his chin from the game against Brantford. But he deserves that contract, and it's going to be fun watching him progress with the Vegas system.
Absolutely.
There's a guy in Vegas named Braden McNabb, and there's a lot of Braden McNabb in Bronson Ride, and you can see they look for that kind of size, that kind of toughness to help out the goaltender, and it's good for him. He came back this year, I'm sure, with the goal of getting that contract, like Barclay Goodrow did in his only year in North Bay. And it's good to see, good things happen to good people, and good for Bronson.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets. And we need to thank our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. Make sure you check out the Battalion social media channels to find out all the latest with Troops Trio. And don't forget, you can send your comments and questions to our email at troopstrio@battalionhockey.com. We'll take a break, and when we come back, our guests, Sebastien Gervais and Hayden Barch, will join us. This is Troops Trio, the official podcast of the North Bay Battalion. This is the Sports Illustrated Tickets Battalion defining moment of the week. From big plays on the ice to the fans in the stands who make every game special, Sports Illustrated Tickets gets you closer to the moments that matter with seats to sports, concerts, and theater events around the globe. Visit sitickets.com or download the app today.
Side of the goal, Gervais comes to Greer. Kent Greer looking towards the goal, fires, he scores! Kent Greer!
Sports Illustrated Tickets, the official partner of the North Bay Battalion and the Troops Trio podcast. Welcome back. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets and our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. And we're now joined by Battalion forward Sebastien Gervais and defenseman Hayden Barch. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sebastien, Hayden, you both arrive in North Bay at the trade deadline, moving from Saginaw to North Bay. Did that make the transition any easier to come up here together?
I mean, Barchie's a great guy, and, just coming with him and, being in the same shoes as him, new people we're meeting here, new coaches. So, it did help coming with Barchie.
With Jerv, it for sure helped. Just to make everything more comfortable. I knew him for a long time, so it was great. Just to build off what Jerv said, just meeting new people and the boys here, it's been great. So,
Sebastien, my question for you is: you played your whole career in Saginaw. What was that? Take me through that process, because most guys expect maybe at one point to be traded, to go to another city in your OHL career. But here is really almost at the end of your OHL career, right, in terms of your eligibility. So what was that like, going through that process of getting to a new place?
I love my time in Saginaw. I had a lot of great memories with the Memorial Cup and all that. But at the end of the day, you need to play in front of new coaches, new fans, new experiences, because I know next year I'm going to be going to Clarkson, and I'm going to have to have a new coach and new teammates. So, just to get the ball rolling here is pretty nice here.
Hayden, obviously, I was going to ask you about your dad's in the league, right? He's coaching another team. Big divisional rivalry, too. So what have those matchups been like for you and the family?
They've been good. He says that he wants our team to win as much as his team, just because I don't know. Some of the phone calls are sometimes a problem just when they lose, but it's just friendly competition.
So you guys played in Saginaw, and just the word Saginaw sort of opens up a deep wound in the North Bay psyche, because were you aware as a player that North Bay Centennials had moved to Saginaw at some point, and that the franchise actually started in North Bay?
I actually did. My first year, it was the 20th year, I think. We had a different logo or third logo or whatever. And so I kind of asked, how long's the team been around my first year in Saginaw? And it brought me back to the North Bay Battalion, North Bay Centennials, I think it was called.
Centennials.
And then Brampton moved over to North Bay and all that. But so I actually did know my first year, so it was pretty cool to come here and fill in those gaps.
Hayden, I was just wondering how, as a dad who's a coach, he was a player as well, and I remember watching him in the NHL. Do you take after him in any way? Because I didn't know what his personality was or what his demeanor was on the ice, but have people told you that you're a chip off the old block, or do you take more after your mother and bring some of those assets to the game?
I'd say with my dad, back in minor hockey, I wasn't that big of a physical guy in terms of hitting, and he's taught me to hit, and I feel like that's what he brought me or helped me out with, was the physicality part of the game. So,
well, anyone who's seen you play notices your physicality. We didn't see a fight though until Sunday. Was that your first fight with the Battalion on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, it was. It was.
And take us through that, when that, you want to be tough, you want to, just play your position properly, but at some point it becomes, more emotional, right? So take us through that sort of switch.
I knew we had these guys in the first round, and just in terms of the standings, I felt like it was needed. I know there was 4 fights that game, but I just wanted to get that fight out of the way. And he just asked me to go, and I was like, okay. So, yeah.
So when you fight in the league, you got the visor. So what's the strategy? How do you not cut open your knuckles when you're dealing with a guy with a visor?
To be honest, I don't really worry about that. I just try to throw as much as I can. So, I don't really play defense that much, but yeah.
Who on the team is the best guy to take advice on how to frame yourself up for a fight? Who seems to have it down, or is it one of the coaches?
I've talked to Enright about fighting just a bit, and taught me a couple things, just how to grab guys. But I'd say my dad has taught me the most about fighting, just because he did that for 7 years. So, I mean, I feel like he's taught me the most on the techniques and everything. So,
And
Sebastian,
Gervais,
I was just going to ask him about your transition. I know you talked about it earlier, playing in Saginaw, coming to North Bay, but it seemed both you guys have, from day one with the battalion, have fit right in. I know they needed some experience from you, and they needed you some size and some physical play in your role, but there seems to be, would you agree with that? The transition was, even Caden, the transition when they got him, first game in Peterborough, he was the #1 star. The transition when the battalion acquire players fits, it's like seamless.
I mean, at the end of the day, hockey is hockey. You're going out there, you're playing hockey. I mean, you know that you have to get to the net to score. You know you have to shoot to score, and you know you have to keep the puck out of the net, not get scored on. But just the leaders in the group, like Nolan Laird, Amidovsky, and Precision, I mean, they help for sure. I mean, being a player on the team, and we can go up to the coaches, and it's very easy. And then you got Mags, who's always a good help, and who's been a forward in a high-level hockey. So I mean, just the help we have in North Bay.
I mean, Jerb said it perfectly. Like the leaders in the locker room, on the ice, how guys stick up for each other. It's great to see that, and yeah.
you talked about sticking up for each other. What do you guys think of what just happened to Matthews and the Leafs' response? And that's been all that anyone's talking about on talk radio in Toronto. As a group, you seem to stick up for each other. You just said that. Well, what's the mentality when you see a guy get a big hit or something that's questionable out there? Is it top of mind just to get in there and send a message right away?
I mean, perfect example, we had Precision jump in when Bronson Ride got hit. So, I mean, kudos to him for stepping up and, telling Peterborough that that's not going to happen around here, and certainly not in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah, just to build off of Jerb, it was great to see that, and it just shows that our team really wants it, and it's just a great tone setter for the first round of playoffs. So,
You had a great run in Saginaw. The highlight, I'm guessing, was winning the whole deal. How do you use that experience? This team's a little younger, obviously. How do you use that experience to sort of, be part of a positive thing here?
I mean, you nailed it. It's just being positive and making sure that, if you lose a game, it's not the end of the world. You always have the next game. And I think that was the biggest thing. I remember in one of the games when we were playing the Sioux during the Mem Cup run, we lost a game, and I was injured, I think, and I was in the lounge, and I was kind of scared that the captain was running in. I thought he was going to yell or something because he was mad, but the first thing he said was, everything's okay, we're going to win. We got a lot more games left, and then we ended up winning that series. So just staying positive, honestly, and just having a positive mindset.
Do you know that I was watching that Mem Cup final? I just want to know what you felt when you saw that puck dribble in over Max McHugh. He was lying in behind his goalie, and what was your feeling in that moment when that puck went in?
It was crazy feeling, but at the same time there was a lot of time left, and London Knights were a good team, so everyone was super excited for, I'd say, 10 seconds, and then we got back to the bench and we're like, we got to dial in for the next 20 seconds. We got to win this game. We got to make sure we win this game.
And so, heading into the playoffs, you've seen what a championship dressing room looks like, and the characteristics of the players playing for each other, the never quit attitude that you talked about. Your sense of this dressing room and the similarities between this group and the group that you had in Saginaw.
I mean, there's a lot of things there's a lot of similar things between these two dressing rooms. There's a great group of guys. I mean, the team is a lot younger than our team in Saginaw, but at the same time, we are positive in the room, and our coach makes sure of that. And then also just the leaders, like I said earlier, they're here to make sure that we win.
And I got to ask you about the fans here in North Bay. They seem to really make it difficult on the opponents, right? Like just the way people, when people are in the back and they see the fans are right on you, right? And if you're a visitor coming in here, how important are the fans in terms of momentum in the game?
I'd say that's probably one of the biggest things in terms of playoffs and the games is the fans. They really make everything happen, and they get us really excited to play the game. And even coming here to play when I was on Saginaw, it's crazy to see the fans and that amount of pressure on you. So, yeah.
Just before we let you guys go, want to know what it's like from your point of view of being the guys that are getting added to the team to try and bolster the playoff run. Obviously, in Saginaw, you guys were part of teams where guys were coming in to help you guys make that playoff push. What's it like from the other side when you're coming into the locker room and understanding that I'm the guy that's going to hopefully help these guys get over that next step?
I mean, to start off, it gives you a lot of confidence knowing that you are needed, and
For sure.
And the coaches and the GM think that you are needed to win. But at the end of the day, like, hockey is hockey, and you're just trying to win no matter what team you're on.
Yeah, I feel like Jerv said it perfectly. I mean, when you get traded, like, they're trying to fit another piece in the puzzle, especially for the playoffs, and it's been great here, and I love it. So.
Awesome. Sebastien, Hayden, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And good luck this weekend. Good luck going in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we've got our Troops Trio trivia question, and AJ will join us as well. This is Troops Trio, the official podcast of the North Bay Battalion.
What makes Cogeco so different?
11,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable.
Split stitch is so easy. Just loop it around.
And we're right around the corner for you.
So I get to talk to someone who gets me.
And we're talking 100% local support on a world-class network. That's how we roll.
Cogeco, your local connection.
Welcome back. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets and our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. Here is this week's trivia question. Who has been the only member of the North Bay Battalion to get drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights? You can put your answer in the comments section for your chance to win a signed puck by Bronson Ride. As we talked about earlier, he has signed an entry-level deal with the Vegas Golden Knights. Last week, Aiden Polesny, I think I'm pronouncing that right, he knew the correct answer to last week's question, which was Arseny Pronin. He guessed correctly that Arseny Pronin is from Minsk, Belarus. So congratulations, Aiden. Hope you enjoy that prize. And again, this week's question, who is the only member of the North Bay Battalion to get drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights? All right. AJ's here.
Gentlemen,
Everybody.
happy St. Patrick's Day. Hello, hello, hello. You guys are looking dapper. Love the ties. How come his tie's on his behind? Like,
We are the Troops Trio. Look at us. We're all exactly dressed.
Your tie's behind. People can't see your
Tweedledee
tie.
and Tweedledum, is that's what I see.
I've got my tie back here because you're
Bob, you were
not
at the dumb
supposed
part.
you're not supposed to have your tie on top of the crest. It's a thing.
I heard you say that earlier, and I was just that's a good. I think that's great. I don't know. I think the tie looks nice though.
It's like stepping on the crest in the dressing room.
Oh yeah, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
You don't.
In
do
fact,
that.
you don't even. The cleaners don't even clean the crest.
I've noticed though a lot of teams aren't putting them on the floor anymore. Do you notice that? You see them; they're putting them right above, so that when you go into the dressing room, you don't have that.
Probably a
that
smarter idea.
Yeah, that
actually.
step on it, because I'm sure everybody that goes in there, they're told,
Oh,
and
no,
then you're like,
no.
you step
You gotta
back,
put
and you're like,
$5
hope
into the
nobody saw
jar
that.
Except if you're Lionel Richie, then it's a problem. If he's on your team, could be a problem.
Dancing on the ceiling.
That's
Was that what I was
That's
supposed to?
what that
Hey, that was good. See, because I know you're the music guy. I know.
you're the music guy.
Yeah, but you always set me up for that stuff, so that's why I knew you were going with
It
that.
was a 1 foot.
I
And if
had
I
no
did-
idea where he was going with that.
Well,
Lionel
you know.
Richie.
I get it now. You just had to explain it to me.
Do you know who Lionel Richie's daughters are?
No.
Isn't that a thing? So they're famous.
One of them
Well, that was a long
friends
time
with
ago with Paris Hilton, but
right?
that was a long time
yeah,
ago.
that one.
Yeah, I don't even remember what her name is.
Ranjan just takes the show off the rails
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
doesn't he?
Well, at least he's not picking on the
Expect
Sudbury
the
Wolves this
unexpected.
time, because we got some hate mail because of that, eh?
What's
that?
Yeah, because he hates the Sudbury Wolves. We got some hate mail not long ago.
Really?
No, we didn't.
No, I'm just kidding. But
Okay.
you know. But you see his face. He was happy
were
about
his
it. He
favorite
was actually
team.
pumped about it. He
They
was
were
like,
his favorite team for a while.
"Really? You were
That's
a
what he said
Sudbury
earlier
Wolves
today.
fan?"
There was a period back in the 2004s, 5s, 6s where I was going to Wolves games.
Really?
I was.
I thought I liked you.
Zach Stortini,
Yeah, they had good teams those years.
Patrick Ehlechner in net.
So there was no. I guess so. That would have been no. Was there a North Bay team then? Centennials.
No.
They were gone.
No,
They were
that-
gone.
that-
When they were gone, yeah.
They
That
were
was
gone.
the whole thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
that was-
allowed.
Oh, so that's what you did. You just went up the highway.
I supported the league,
Nice.
but I did not like the North Bay Battalion at that time. Or the
Oh,
Brampton
the
Brampton
Battalion.
Battalion, yeah,
Brampton
that's
Battalion at that
yeah.
time.
Why do you keep saying that?
It's 20 episodes. I'm allowed to share my feelings, my journey.
There's gonna be a spin-off podcast called Ranjan's Journey. What else you got for us, AJ?
Hey, we got a fan question for you.
Okay.
Lovely.
Now this fan question is it's kind of cool. The NHL just announced that they're having their World Cup there in 2028. Gonna have some games in Prague, have some games in Calgary, and then the finals in Edmonton. The question we got is: should the CHL adopt a similar format for the Memorial Cup?
And we got that from Alex from Sturgeon Falls. So thanks, Alex, for sending that in.
I'm going to say yes and no, because not the Memorial Cup. No, because Memorial Cup, I think one of the problems it has as far as getting more outreach and getting more interest in it is when it's held. It's always in the third round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. What I would do maybe in September, do an event before the NHL season starts and maybe have the top 8 teams in a single elimination tournament. That would drum up some interest, I think. Get one of the networks to carry it, and because I noticed they're starting to think that way. I mean, London's going out to Victoria to play a game. Ottawa's
Yes, I
done
saw
some
that.
games with Gatineau. I think there's some good partnerships being set up. I wouldn't mind seeing the Battalion play a team from another league. That would be interesting. So yeah, I don't know about the Memorial
Do you
Cup.
think
but
though? Do you think that financially though that's feasible? Because you're right. When I saw that London was going out west it's an exhibition game, like exhibition to fly. So you got to fly there. You got hotels. Like there's a lot of expenses. Plus you're taking up a lot of time to go do that one one game. And again, it's exhibition. We know how many people we get for exhibition. Like, it's not a lot.
Yeah, I think the tough part about that, of doing it in September, like you suggest, is teams don't really know what they have in September player-wise. But yeah, it is tough when the Memorial Cup is on because you are up against the Stanley Cup playoffs.
The September thing, like most of your better players are at NHL camps.
That's what I mean. It would be tough. But I would like to see the Memorial Cup format expanded somehow. I think, March Madness, and I get it. There's way more colleges in the States that you need to draw from, right, to get down to even just the Sweet 16, right? But I think that kind of a format would be huge because you could do it in 2 or 3 cities at the same time, and you could mix and match teams from the Q, teams from the O, and teams from the WHL. You could even invite teams from the USHL maybe to get involved in it. But I think a Memorial Cup that was more like a March Madness bracket style might be better. Although, again, it would just come down to logistics of where do you host a tournament like that.
Well, one thing that comes up, if you look at the latest rankings, I think Brantford's the top-ranked team in the OHL. They're 7th. So there are teams in the West that are ranked higher, even though they're not the number one team in the West. So maybe you incorporate a couple of teams from each league, have 2 teams from each league are guaranteed, and then maybe 2 wild card teams, and then you do like you say, a March Madness type weekend.
I'm going to tell Alex from Sturgeon Falls, just leave it the way it is.
It's too complicated, Alex.
It was a good question, Alex, but we're just going to leave it where it is.
All right. What else you got?
Well, we got a game Thursday night. It's going to be a big one. Brampton's in town. And one lucky fan is going to shoot for $20,000 towards a Subaru.
And that lucky fan's name is
vehicle.
Matt Sookram. All right.
Yeah, this is the one where you guys can't enter. It'd be kind of weird when you guys go down to shoot, eh? Be like, that's not
weird
fixed.
or awesome.
Well, But yeah, hey, $20,000, Subaru, awesome. And it's going to be one lucky fan's going to have a chance. So that'll be in the second intermission. We're all looking forward to that. But before we even get to that, I just wanted to talk about that $20,000 because that's a huge deal especially for a prize for us. Like that's a lot of money. So a fan could put that towards a new car. That would be amazing. But on the same night, we're giving our awards away. So it's our team awards. We have 9 awards in total. We've got the best defenseman, Rookie of the Year, the Scholastic Academy Award, most sportsmanlike, the Humanitarian Award. We have the Overager of the Year, the True Grit Award, sponsored by the Algonquin Regiment. We've got the most outstanding player, and maybe the most important one is this one here, is the Don Hockey Hadley Award.
That's the big one.
This one is given out by the fans, so they get to choose this one. Last year's winner was Kent Greer, so we'll find out on Thursday night who this year's recipient is. I'm going to put this back before I drop it, and I won't have a job Thursday night.
I was going to say, Owen was struggling holding that thing, trying to hand it to you for a good 2 minutes.
Well,
and you just kept reading it. He's like, trying to give
well, the thing is, we talked about coming here. I said, should we really bring that? And he's looking at me going, why? And I said, what happens if it gets broken? And we have to give that out Thursday. And he just kind of looked at me like, oh,
Don't break it then.
never thought of that. But guess we better not break it. So we decided we're going to bring it. And that's why he was so protective of it, because we got to make sure.
Good job, Owen.
What about a Troops Trio Award?
You guys are
we just
already
give it
the
to
best.
each other every single year. We'll rotate it.
We can have the hardest working, and then you could have
that would be Sookram.
No, it's a team effort.
Suki's the hardest. No, actually, Bobby, he works pretty hard. He gets off the golf course and he goes and doesn't give Ryan Oulahen a coffee, but he gets right to the questions.
Yeah, I'm off the golf course. That's what I did this morning, yeah.
Yeah, that minus 30, was that amazing morning to wake up to?
We got to think of a Troops Trio Award, though, for a player, not for us.
Oh, that you guys.
As if for us. revolving. No, for a player. But
No,
what
I
category?
agree. I knew where you were going with that. I just had to.
Like the Unsung Hero Award.
Sure.
Do you know how the 3-star selection, you never get a defensive defenseman in the 3 stars?
Yeah.
I would say the award should be for the most interesting North Bay Battalion player.
That we had on the podcast.
You know, that we talked to, that we watched play, you know, just most interesting.
Let's develop it, put a pin in it, and see if we can do something.
Yeah, we'll get right
next
on
year.
that.
Yeah.
Right on
Awesome.
that.
The Troops Trio Award.
Or was the best guest.
I like that one,
Exactly.
the best
Right?
guest, yeah.
Interesting in
It was
a way,
that
but
kid
best
from
guest.
Sweden.
Yeah, I'm glad that one never went to air.
That Swedish kid
Thanks
we got
for calling
there.
me out on that one.
No, he called you out on it.
He did.
That was the best
It
interview
was,
of the year.
Switzerland,
Ryder Cali,
actually.
when he said when he was talking to him about where he's from, and he got the country wrong. It starts
He
with an
literally
S.
just talked about his mom playing in Switzerland. I go, so when you grew up in Sweden? He goes, Switzerland, actually.
And most people would just let it slide. He
Yeah,
was like,
he was like,
he's
no.
like, no, it's Switzerland.
But it's
Anyway.
you were given bad research.
No, I just
you
got
just-
the country wrong.
Yeah, he just got the country wrong because earlier he said it was Switzerland. So
yeah, for sure. What else you got? So
And then,
huge giveaway on Thursday.
Yeah, and then on Sunday it's our Fan Appreciation Day. Lots and lots of prizes. Cal Tire, I think, is a sponsor for that one. Yeah, so it's one game of the year where you don't hear me stop talking. I'm giving away prizes like nonstop.
Awesome.
what I've loved doing the last couple games is the videos you put on with the players talking about the billets and the impact
Yes.
the billets have, and then announcing the families. Give the fans a chance to say, you know, who are the families that are supporting these kids during the hockey season, and I think we're going to do that again, I guess, next game. So it's really important. The billet families are so important to the team.
100%. We couldn't do it without the billets, and you know, billet families, they become families like forever. You know, like you talk to a lot of players 10, 15 years are still talking to their billets. Their billets are still coming to games, and if they're in the NHL or what have you. It's always a great thing to actually see it, and I'm sure it's a great peace of mind for some moms and dads that, you know, that they send their kids away at 16 years old, and then we've got a great billet family that's watching over them and looking out for them.
Yeah, and it's great that you guys do those videos and also do the ceremony at the end of the year where, you know, you do the rose ceremony for all the billet moms, which is awesome to see. All right, thanks, AJ. Been great
Gentlemen,
to see
thank you
ya.
very much. I'm not allowed to do the buzzer for the last minute of ceasefire. I got fired, so I'll see you guys in the next episode.
We're going to tighten up our answers so that Suki can get more than 3 words in for his response.
Well, you guys should time it like you go 25 seconds, you go 25 seconds, and you leave them the last 10.
I only need 15. I only need 15.
All right, when we
See you
get
guys.
back, we'll hear from head coach
Thanks,
Ryan
AJ.
Oulahen, as well as head coach and GM of the Brampton Steelheads, James Richmond, and head coach of the Wolves, Scott Barney. So all that on the way, and we'll finish off with everyone's favorite segment, 1 minute to ceasefire. All that right here on Troops Trio, the official podcast of the North Bay Battalion. Welcome back. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets and our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Fox and Fiddle, the Moose Cookhouse, and the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, where we are live tonight. Bobby had a chance to catch up with head coach Ryan Oulahen to get his thoughts on the games coming up this week. So let's hear that now. Producer Gerald.
Well, for the playoff start, you got 3 games. You can still finish 4th. You're 2 back of the Petes entering this week. You got Brampton here Thursday, and then a rematch with Brantford on Friday, and then you wrap up at home against Sudbury here on Sunday. But how do you look at this week? You want to obviously continue playing well, but you also want to make sure your guys are fresh when it begins for real next week.
Yeah, and then you know what? There's lots to play for here. We have to kind of look at this weekend as taking care of our own business. You know, obviously now being 2 points back of Peterborough, we are going to need a little bit of help. But if we can take care of business and get some points and scrape and claw, I mean, we kind of force our hand. We do have 2 at home, 1 on the road. Peterborough's the opposite. They got 1 at home and 2 on the road, so maybe that is a little bit of an advantage. But in saying that, we got to take care of that. So all opponents we know really, really well. Obviously, with Brampton and Sudbury being in our division, and then Brantford just with playing so fresh. So there's not going to be a lot of secrets. You know, we want to ramp it up at this time of year. We want to make sure our game is sharp. We generally, use our whole bench and use different guys. So we're going to have that same plan like we always do, and try to get as many points as we can this weekend. And then whether it's 4th or 5th, we know who we're playing now.
It's a real balancing act the last week of the regular season. You want to get points, especially for the Battalion who are fighting for 4th with the Petes, 2 points back because they enter the week. But you also want to make sure your team is fresh and ready to go. You don't want to overplay guys. If guys are still nursing injuries, you want to make sure that they get the rest. Really important, especially I would think in Brant Harper's case, Aaron Enright, he's further along than Brant Harper. It was good to see Ride back in there after being injured against Brantford. So, but it really is a balancing act in terms of you want the points, but you want the games next week more than that. And so that's what the coaching staff will be dealing with over the next 3 games.
I would think that you are still going for 4th, that you are going to throw everything you can to win this playoff race, even though it's 3 points back and 3 games left. I think that
2 points.
2 points back, 3 games left. You have to go for it, and that's the team has to always want to win every game. That has to be drilled in.
How important, then, do you think it is to this series that you have home ice advantage?
It's unimportant for the first 6 games, but for game
but then
7,
that last one,
yeah, and I think it will go 7 games. But it's a bit of a hill to climb to get there. We can't focus on it. It's not a disappointment if you didn't get it, but it would be nice.
And it could be that. The early portion of this series could be the most important, right? If you get home ice and you get 2 good games under your belt at home, then you could be sailing through it, right? You put a lot of pressure on the team coming back in that 3rd and 4th game.
Game 1 win is so important statistically, and so you want to win game 1 for sure.
You're the baseball guy, Matt. It's not important. Yogiism. It's not important until it's important. That's what Yogi might say. So what I think is. Yeah, I think the last 2 times they met in the playoffs, Game 7 was in North Bay on both occasions. First time around, North Bay won. Second time around, the Petes won. So, but I think you'd rather be at home for a Game 7 than on the road. Battalion played a Game 7 in Oshawa too, right? So, yeah, you want to finish. You want that 7th game, but I don't know if during the series, home ice is going to be as significant because the teams are so evenly balanced.
Yeah, they really are. Bob, you also had a chance to catch up with the head coach of the Sudbury Wolves, Scott Barney. They are coming into town on Sunday to close out the regular season. So let's hear that clip now. Producer Gerald.
Okay, Scott Barney, the head coach of the Sudbury Wolves, joining us. And Scott, just before we went on, you were talking about the weather in Sudbury. I think got a lot of national media coverage by the amount of snow Sudbury got. And how have you guys, I know you played earlier this week in Brampton, how have you guys been dealing with the snow and the impact of all that?
Yeah, it was definitely tough, right? But we found a way to get down there. We had billets, carpooling players down to the rink because no one could park down here. There's no parking. The lots hadn't been plowed yet, and it made different arrangements. And then we end up getting down to Brampton really late there the night before the game. Guys got a quick sleep there and then had the game yesterday. But you know what? As athletes, you got to be able to adjust to adversity, and that's kind of a lesson we kind of chatted with our guys. And they're young athletes, and they're going to go through a lot of adversity in their times. And these are things that make you stronger and a better team in the end.
This week's really important. Teams are wrapping up the regular season, playing for points. I know you're here Sunday, and the Battalion are still playing for points, trying to get home ice. You guys are pretty settled in where you are. Going to play Brantford in the first round. How important is this week as you prepare for that playoff series?
Yeah, it's just habits and getting different reps and practice time. Obviously, we're setting our spot, but North Bay, like you said, they're fighting for home ice advantage against a good Peterborough team. And I watched that game the other day. It was a great game there on Sunday there in North Bay. And for us, it's more about habits, right? We played Brantford here last week as well, and they obviously got the top team right now in our league, and it's going to be a good experience for our guys. But you know what? This is playoff hockey, and you're evaluated by how you do it in the playoffs, and we want our guys here to be ready for the challenge here when game one starts.
Now, you played Brantford last week. Did you pick up things in that game that is going to help you when that series starts next week?
Yeah, you know what? Jay does a great job there, right? He's won championships there in Brantford, and teams will adjust. And there's things that our staff has identified that we maybe need to do better or adjust in our game, so that when we do play Brantford game one, we're ready to go. And they're deep 4 lines through 6D, and both goalies are arguably 1A, 1B in the net there, and they're built well to win. And for us, it's going to be great experience for our guys, and I believe in our group. I believe in our group here. The second half they've played well as a team. Our structure is there, our belief is there, and that's the main thing for us. And these last 2 games, it's just more the habits that we want to get ready for next week in the playoffs.
You've had a few players move in and out of the lineup, but you seem to have settled on your core group heading into the postseason. What are you looking for out of your team the rest of this week and in the playoffs?
Yeah, I know for us, we would like to see some more scoring balance through the lineup would be one key area for us. Taking care of our blue lines, doing little things like that. But obviously we work on our special teams daily, and that's an area in the playoffs that can win you or lose you games. Brantford's got over 30% on the power play, so you don't want to be sitting in the box too much. So discipline has to be a key for sure against a team like that who has an abundance of skill. But like I said, it's just the little details of getting pucks out along the walls, not turning pucks over through the neutral zone. Make sure we're believing and blocking shots and doing little things that some players don't do that we need to do to be able to win that series.
Well, it should be interesting. I know the Battalion fans are looking forward to the Peterborough series coming up, and I'm sure your Wolves fans are looking forward to some exciting playoff action next week. So, thanks for joining us, and best of luck in the first round.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and same to you guys. Appreciate the conversations here this year.
Okay, Scott Barney, the head coach of the Sudbury Wolves.
So great to hear from Scott Barney. He's been on the show a bunch of times, so great for him to always make time to let us know what the Wolves are up to, and looking forward to hearing from him next year as well, or maybe even during the playoffs. Who knows how things are going to unfold as the Wolves look like they're going to be they are going to be in that 8th spot going into the postseason. Last but not least, Bob, you also had a chance to catch up with head coach and GM of the Brampton Steelheads, and that's Mr. James Richmond. So let's hear that clip now. Producer Gerald.
Joining us, James Richmond, the coach and general manager of the Brampton Steelheads, who will be here on Thursday night, final meeting of the regular season between the two divisional rivals. And James, I want you to put your GM hat on this week in our interview. You've got a lot of decisions you have to make. You're going to be one of those top 4 picks. So how do you address that as you sort of, I guess, split your time between coaching the team and managing the team for the future?
Well, I can tell you that the coach is telling the GM what we need, and obviously we need to score a few more goals. We've struggled at scoring goals this year. There's no question about it. But part of that is we're pretty young. You know, there's a lot of nights where we have 3, 4, 5, 17-year-olds on the back end, and it starts from back there. And we like our defense, so we need to add some power up front. We need to score a few more goals. So as we go through it, I'm talking with Mike Doyle, who's the associate GM and does most of the work, to be quite honest, on the GM side. And then obviously Rob Toffoli and Lino Dixon and the guys. We get together and we chat. It's an ongoing call right now. It's almost every day about who'd you see last night in the U16 loop. So there's no one player that I think that's run out in front of everybody, but there's a lot of really strong players. So it changes. If you ask me who we're picking, you'll have to ask me on draft day.
No, I know you won't tell me that. That's being kept a secret. You don't know where you'll be picking, right? Like,
no.
You could pick first, you could pick fourth. So how do you assess, like, sort of, you know, people talk about need versus, you know, a player out there who, you know, may develop later in his second or third year? How do you look at need right away, or are you just looking for the best player?
You always want to say you're looking for the best player, but right now with what we're into, you know, obviously losing as many players as we did over the summer that we had planned on them coming back, we really took a knock over the summer. So now we got to stop looking behind us and start looking ahead. So how many players are going to come into the draft this year? And do we know if they're going to leave early to go south of the border after 2 years, after 3 years? So we're looking, obviously we want the best player, but we want the best player that's going to stick around for a while. So there's a little extra work that goes into it right now to figure that out. And, you know, things change on a yearly basis, on a monthly basis for some of these players now. So we have to make sure that we're smart on who we take and we're getting a real strong player.
Now, you got another few games left this season. How's your youth doing as the regular season wraps up this week?
Yeah, you know, it's we talked about motivation and how to keep playing, and I spoke to the guys the other day about anytime you go out to play anything, whether it's hockey, golf, or whatever you're playing, you're going out to win. So you've got to put your best foot forward. And the thing that we're looking for most is the compete level. We've got to play. We've got to compete every shift. You got to compete on every puck, and you got to play with pace, and that'll set you up for the future. But you can't take any days off. We have to go out there and try to win hockey games, and build for the future.
Of course, the Battalion, they're in the midst of that race, looking for home ice. 2 points back of Peterborough as the week begins. So you're coming in here to North Bay on Thursday. So what type of game are you expecting?
Well, they're obviously, we talk about it all the time. They're well coached. They played a lot of structure. They know how to jump on you. Obviously, the last time up there, we got shellacked pretty good with the amount of shots that they took at our net. So we've got to do a better job of giving them nothing for free. We got to get at them through the neutral zone. We can't just let them throw pucks at the net whenever they wanted to. So we've got to really concentrate on not letting them shoot the puck as much as they did the last time we were up there.
Well, you've been great with these interviews, and I know this is your last game against the Battalion this season. So thanks for the year, and best luck in drafting during the summer.
Well, thanks for having me. I always enjoy coming up to North Bay, so we'll see you then.
Okay, James Richmond, the coach and GM of the Brampton Steelheads. It's interesting to hear that in the interview I did with James Richmond, that it affects who you're going to draft, whether you think a player may be gone in a year or 2 years, as opposed to maybe a player who might be on the so-called B level, but he's going to play his 4 years in the OHL, and that's entered the draft room in terms of who you're picking, how long is he going to be with your franchise, and how you really manage that.
Well, it is tough. And every GM is facing it, and in James Richmond's case, it's a coach is dealing with the fallout of these decisions. And it has a domino effect. You could be a player who thinks you're going to be playing OHL this year, and they go shopping south of the border and bring in a ringer perhaps, and suddenly you lost your spot and you're playing in the OJHL. You never thought you were going to be. So it affects the development of Ontario-born players as well, and there's a lot of uncertainty for a lot of people in this equation.
Yeah, it's hard to judge, right? You want your players to do well, where they will be getting looked at by NHL teams, by schools, but then you want them to at least give you another year or maybe 2, because even if your guys get drafted in the NHL, they're probably going to be around for at least another year, maybe 2. With the NCAA stuff, they might be gone a couple of months from now. So yeah, it's got to be tough on GMs and head coaches, and James Richmond is trying to do both. And I mean, I can't think that is an easy job. There's not a ton of those dual role guys left in the OHL, is there?
I think he's the only one. Stan Butler used to be one while he was with the Battalion, but
Marty Williamson did it as well.
George Burnett did it for a long time, but I don't think he is anymore.
Yeah, so it's got to be tough, especially when you're quadrupling or even more than that the amount of teams that might be looking at your players.
And just the sheer amount of contemplation that goes into scouting a player who's playing in Iowa right now, whether you want him in your team. Usually the GM can
go and watch him.
Yeah, for sure, but James Richmond can't do that. So he's relying on other sources. They've done a pretty good job actually finding European players and bringing up talent from the States. So it just remains to be seen. But they've also, by the same token, they've lost Porter Martone and Jack Ivankovic. They've suffered maybe more catastrophically than any other team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they sure have. So Brampton, again, will be here this weekend, but they will not be making the playoffs. But we thank James Richmond as well. He's been on the show 3 times now. I think that's the 3rd time that you've interviewed him.
3 times, that's right.
Yeah,
every home game, yeah.
Really awesome. Can't stress that enough. A huge thank you to James, to Scott, and to all the coaches and GMs who joined us on this first season of Troops Trio as we head into the playoffs. All right, before we go, though, it's time to play
1 minute to ceasefire.
Producer Gerald, let's put those topics up on the board. 1 minute for each topic. Topic number 1: who finishes 4th in the Eastern Conference?
I'm gonna.
North Bay. North Bay finishes 4th by a point.
All right, next topic. No, go ahead.
You only got 15 seconds. Suki's got to have an opinion before he gets beeped.
I think they're going to be tied at the end of the regular season, and that means regulation and overtime wins. And the Battalion have done really well in the shootout, but they lose points in that tiebreaker. So Peterborough would finish 4th.
Suki, quickly. Quickly, Suki.
I think it's going to be North Bay. I think North Bay is going to run the table this weekend and pick up all 6 points and head in on fire into the playoffs.
All right, I'm with you.
All right. Can we move to the next one? Okay, sweet. Topic number 2, who are your players to watch in that Peterborough Battalion first round series?
For me, for Peterborough, it's going to be Kieran Walton. He's definitely, they're going to watch him. They have to shut him down. He loves playing against the Battalion. When they do shut him down, they usually win or the game is really tight. So Kieran Walton. And for the Battalion, it's going to be, I'm going to go with Ethan Procession is the player to watch. I think he's going to break out.
Okay, this team will go as far as Ethan Procession carries them, kind of like Barclay Goodrow with the piano on his back in 2013-14. For the Petes, I'm looking at Easton Rye, the goaltender. He's got to carry this team because their backup netminder has a 5.08 goals against average, and they've got to keep Easton Rye in the game somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Evgeny Dubrovtsev. He came on strong in the last couple of weeks. I think he's found his scoring touch, so I like him for North Bay. And for Peterborough, I think they have to watch out for Brendan Faulkner. In 4 games against North Bay this season, he has 5 points, including 2 goals. So he's done some damage against the Battalion this season. Topic number 3. After the Austin... Yeah, I know we need a buzzer. Where's the... Topic number 3.
Suki brings good content. Like, your answers are rich in content, dense with facts, and we've been missing that for 19 episodes.
Like he's got a paper there or something.
Almost, eh? Topic number 3. After the Austin Matthews knee-on-knee injury, what does the NHL need to do to address player safety?
Well, they got to do a lot. First of all, they've got to...
But we only have a minute.
They can't have a fourth liner in charge of player safety. They got to have... and not have 2 Anaheim players that get to decide about a suspension, but they got a lot to do. They got to listen to the players. And Connor McDavid's right. It's got to change.
They should have electronic fan balloting for the length of suspension. Get the fans involved. They seem to have their finger on the pulse of what's right.
But then you're encouraging people to get injured so that fans can partake in this.
No, it's just it's how the Department of Player Safety will run. It's fans at home, and they get to vote 4 games, 5 games, 20 games.
And decide
it's a democratic process.
No, but seriously, Matt, on this topic, like
you
the
can't
player,
get a second. There's
well,
no rebuttals here.
Players against
the man
players.
hasn't even
That's
spoken
what's wrong
yet.
with the program.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it in less than a minute, and now we're out of time. But they need. There's a lot that needs to go on.
Suki called a fair catch.
I'm gonna call a fair catch on that play. All right, topic number 4. Which matchup has the makings of being an upset in the first round of the OHL playoffs? Now, this does come with the caveat that the standings could change a little bit. Barrie could still take over and be the top seed, which would push Brantford down to the 2nd seed. Niagara and Kingston can still swap places, and obviously North Bay and Peterborough can swap places. But for argument's sake, we'll take it as the standings are right now. So Brantford would play Sudbury, Barrie would play Niagara, Ottawa would play Kingston, and Peterborough would play North Bay. Which series could have the biggest upset? Go.
I'm going to say Kingston. I think Kingston's been developing all year. Ottawa doesn't score a lot. Kingston's a pretty good goaltender in there. So I'm going to say Kingston will upset Ottawa.
I'm going to say Sudbury's going to upset Brantford.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, why?
Just because we rarely ever get to see an 8 setting up.
Somebody said no chance.
1.
Who said no chance?
Mr. Nelson back there.
Okay, will they win a game? Will Sudbury win a game against Brantford?
Yeah, they'll win 1.
1 game? What's the over and under?
What's the over under? Boss say no, they won.
There's no upsets in the East. The favorites win.
No, I also think the Frontenacs might be able to give Ottawa a run for their money. The Frontenacs are on a pretty good streak going into the last little while here. What is that? I don't like that. All right, number 5.
I think it's a goal horn. But it's the
I think
quietest.
producer Gerald's going to put in an actual goal horn in post. That's what we call it. We'll touch that up in post. All right, question number 5. This has been the longest edition of Ceasefire. Who has been the most surprising player for the Battalion this season? We'll end it on that.
I'm going to go with Carter Kunopaski. I think, and once the playoffs start, I think he's really going to show how good he is. Really, for a young 16-year-old player, he's stepped up this year. I'm going to go with Carter Kunopaski.
I am going to say Jack Lisson.
I knew you were going to say that.
You were going to say Jack Lisson?
I wasn't going to say Jack Lisson. I knew you were going to say Jack Lisson.
Because Jack, just solid, and we didn't see a big... we didn't see it last year. We saw glimpses of it last year. that there was an incredible goaltender in that package, and he got an opportunity here. And I don't think the Battalion would be where they were if he was an average 1B goaltender in this league, but he's been spectacular.
I'm going to go with Caden Petrie. I think just because you didn't know what to expect, especially in trading a fan favorite in Iggy Passy for him, and he came over, and I think that the Battalion really started to change the game around and started becoming more of an offensive threat once Petrie showed up.
I think you're right. Petrie, I think he's turned Procession into a complete beast out there.
Absolutely. All right.
I got to say, before we wrap up, this has been a really fun season. Like, to do the podcast, but also watch this team develop, the ups and downs they've had throughout the season, different heroes. I mean, it's just been a really fun year, and let's hope it continues for a few more weeks.
Well said. Anything from you? This isn't the last Troops Trio. I mean, this is
the
last one for the regular season, I guess. But
no, the last podcast for the regular season because the playoffs start next week. So I've really enjoyed this season. It's been a lot of fun.
We've done 20 episodes. Do we get X patch on our shoulder?
We should. I was saying we should get Troops Trio jerseys next year.
We should.
Or we get these Battalion jerseys with Troops Trio on the back, like just says Troops Trio.
It's a good idea. I like that.
Thanks.
They're
I
all
know.
good
I should go
ideas.
to marketing or something, right?
You should do that.
All right. That's going to wrap up today's show. We want to thank Happy
will
Dad
the
Beverages.
Battalion take the Ontario Northlander anywhere for a game?
They should. That'd be an awesome cross.
Can you cue it up? You're the guy at ONR.
I mean,
like with the fedoras and the suits?
I'm a guy at the ONR.
Where could they go on the train? Barrie.
They could get to Barrie, yeah.
But they can't come back till the next day.
Until the next day.
24 hours later.
We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing this show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets. And we thank our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Moose Cookhouse, the Fox and Fiddle, and a huge thank you to the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf for letting us take over the space for a little while and for decorating us in St. Paddy's Day green. Make sure you check out the Battalion's social media channels, find out all the latest with Troops Trio. And if you're enjoying the show on YouTube, why not join us on a live taping soon? Don't forget, you can send your comments and questions to us at troopstrio@battalionhockey.com. We thank Sebastien Gervais and Hayden Barch for joining us, as well as head coach of the Battalion, Ryan Oulahen, and Scott Barney and James Richmond for taking the time to join us as well. We thank our camera operator, Marley, our show coordinator, Owen, producer, Gerald, hype man, AJ Jakeman, and executive producer, Steve Batanti. For Bob Coles and Ranjan Rupal, I'm Matthew Sookram, and this has been Troops Trio.